to 5 p.m. For sponsors and partners, contact 369-0164 or 272-3819. Hello, the Peace Talk Show is back on the bench. We educate, advocate, and inform you on peace, security, and dangers related to violence. Every week, we have interesting topics to discuss. Our guests are highly informed. Gambia is the homeland of peace. Let's teach the world peace. Follow Alassana Justice Diallo every other Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. For sponsors and partners, contact 369-0164 or 272-3819. Hello, the Peace Talk Show is back on the bench. We educate, advocate, and inform you on peace, security, and dangers related to violence. Every week, we have interesting topics to discuss. Our guests are highly informed. Gambia is the homeland of peace. Let's teach the world peace. Follow Alassana Justice Diallo every other Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. For sponsors and partners, contact 369-0164 or 272-3819. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon to you, wonderful viewers. Welcome back to another edition of our weekly Peace Talk Show, the program that is brought to discuss on issues surrounding our national peace and security. Mbadi ngolum bal konton na andole nadnale jang bi fanang arjumo ka program mo nadnale jang wolong alla lok wolok kaira kachading kami nadnale fadu network jang bi fanang mung lung kuma balde mi alan ko kunung o wala lokun tambila ngamin kachanu min lok mo bi panang kana wala labanjang andung kacha kuma bale mani and ngamo farman sari bala so min alan ko ni wala be kachala jang. On my right hand side I have Director of Transport at the Ministry of Transport. We all know that transportation last week was in shambles, but thank God today we have the director here. And on my left hand side, I have a right person there as well. That's the Public Relations Officer, Gambia Police Force, ASP Binda Njai. Binda and Director, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. Director, how is the ministry?
We are there managing.
You're managing. I hope you actually. What is your appreciation to the program first before we move?
I would just commend you for this, wonderful, initiative. Yeah, I think, it's enlightened the general public, and I encourage you, to keep it up.
Well, director sometimes is frustrated, but I will try. My beautiful sister. Good. Welcome, Binda. How is it? Thank you. I like that, I like that, basically, in fact, we're going to speak the local dialects, because many of our followers actually are appealing for that. And this is one thing that we encourage because the objective is, the mass is to hear what we are discussing. So, Binta, how is the Gambia Police Force? Gambia Police Forces?
Abaraka bake yeng kumandi yeng kacha kuma bala pulkadia mu Gambia dingole anasi lalo Gambia Police Force mbijele mbenkato dangol keka nkaji ko na banko yetenko mengsula nga wodin na molla.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And people will say banko manta tenko because of the murders and the crimes, but basically people come to that at the conclusion. Director, last 2 weeks was short. In a sense that, we have seen that Driveful Data Strike, this was something it took almost 1 week or close to a week, and this was seriously disturbing, and do you, as a driver or as a ministry, do you know what were the causes, means some of the Driveful strike,
Thank you very much. Last week. The coming for is just unfortunate. Yeah, because now taranung kaja ketanu, then nun te futala futata dame. Yeah, but it's just unfortunate nga for nyame because ne jube told you cool fintin the call after men okay. But ne jube o kodol kono kachal be kerina already. So maybe told fake kachale low jam fata. So if inte tanang nyame along kwa ketan kuti me alon ko mayilla. Yeah, but alhamdulillah saying a kwenye
I saw it, was it on point, I come in Tandi Walla you saw it read that comical. There was no dialogue. Driveful and in other minister in Yoje, covering minister but Kachala and then they went on to declare a strike.
Yeah, because it's abnormal. Near Jube 2020, yeah, Fenkele no with a strike. Very demand so like a government. Near Jube from Tatalan for Office of the President, Secretary General preside over that from Konya negotiation. But after covering Kachal Keta, Cambion Ketale. 2021 fana near Jube September Tilitani Sabo yeah a similar thing but Jani Bo Kelano yeah 2 weeks notice already Kafu Koning Yin Manke with a strike so Alana attack the eve of the strike Security Council through the former Interior Minister Kajal Keta so former Interior Minister Nata committee Londi, committee me along con demand soul, Jube. Alhamdulillah, content at the end because past Lafa Ketale, and ko pro chewing system for Nike port or for Ketale. So nada for na for conditional men pro pass on near Lafa route lines in it. Nada for na try, but unfortunately, for na work. Yeah, so I need a demand solve for Trans-Gambia and then immediately after that, Kachal in the Ministry of Finance for Kajal La Bulula. But unfortunately, I think they are running out of patient. Naya Jube from Kobe Suntamena, drive menu Balantano, Senegambia Bridge.
Okay.
It a Jorokel.
Okay.
Naya Jube strike,
Okay, and you as a ministry, Allah reaction, how was it? Because we have seen that, Ali Boshul Bula, were you very angry, and then at some point, what was the reaction of the ministry?
Comment a memfo, comment Masakundala la Nyantolem. O ko na responsibility lem pro kaje mo la tanin na abe sono yala nyame so ning drive wol ko tol te borla man sakunda fo ngaje comme mo la tanin na ba sono yande la nyame so o man yana pro mo liaje ko we are competing with the union or what ngaje la ko man sakunda la nyanto lem pro kanyinke ngake so and alhamdulillah kabring ngake anata mo la tanin na among full satisfaction but alhamdulillah kudul sona yata
kudul sona let me come to my good sister because if I understand one of the demands drive volume in the wala nyindiko too much police checkpoint and police checkpoint all sia it was one of their demands that come police checkpoint all tala and we have seen that now we have seen a document circulating on the media that IGP has made a communique that the police checkpoints all nyanda talala. So as coming covering drive well and phoning IGP la communicating, is it true or false? Let me ask you that follow.
I would want to say that in English. I would urge the members of the public to disregard any information that is said to come from the Office of the Inspector General if it's not coming from through the Office of the Public Relations. Any information should be disregarded.
So what you are saying is that the memo that has been circulating that all police checkpoints should actually be temporarily seized, that is false? That
is not coming from the Office of the Inspector General of Police. So when you look at our social media platform, we came up with a write-up to say all unofficial checkpoints will be suspended. Unofficial checkpoints are not illegal checkpoints. We're just substituting them with mobile patrols to ensure swift response to the security needs on the roads. And in so doing, there will still be police visibility on our roads. It doesn't mean because we've suspended those unofficial checkpoints, we will not have police patrolling, we will not have police on the roadsides to ensure that what needs to be done to ensure safety and security on our roads is achieved.
Okay, and also we have also seen that, is it from the office of the IGP that some WhatsApp, because we need clarity, you understand, because misinformation and disinformation is something that is seriously infecting this country and affecting. Is it that, that document also, is it from the office of the IGP that WhatsApp or regional WhatsApp platforms should all be, closed?
In the same vein, any communication coming from the office of the Inspector General of Police goes through the Office of the Public Relations. If that is not the case, I urge the general public to disregard it.
That's fine. Okay, I think that's clear now. So basically, we now move to the demands of the drivers. During the strike, one of the demands of the drivers was that, too much police checkpoint and the checkpoints should be reduced. So how has the police reacted to this? Because police also man checkpoint for the safety and the security of the people. And the police, their primary duty is to ensure that life and properties are protected.
Comme mbarinke ya fu ñamem comme nim ko waxe ci kalama sosé fogg na dañ yakamti rek way waxtaan yaangi won ñu ngi doon yëngu ci fexé ba niñ gëna safaralé coono yi ñoo janku wantel ci dem ak ñëw bi ci yoon yi ba tax na police command bi jël décision bobu nonu pour wañi checkpoints nga xamné mom lañ am ci yoon yi wañi ko yi tamit melut ni police yi duñ nekk ci yoon yi pour fexe ba kaaraange bi ñu tax a jóg ñu matal ko jël matuwaay yu wóor fexe ba alal yeeg bakkanu nit ñi ci kaw yoon bi ñu aar ko
waaw ok comme da nga gis ne comme like that communiqué comme lu ma ko doon wax rek sama wolof bi chet what I will try comme there is divided opinion comme ñeneen ñi ñu wane comme like ok police yi waruñoo stop those unofficial checkpoints because we have seen that lii mooy xew at a moment mu nga xam ne crime rate is increasing. We are seeing a lot of murder cases. So there is a divided opinion. So what actually do you think about that?
Wa lolu mom duy ñaka ci dara lepp lu taxaway bu nit mëna jël rek ci kaw aduna té nga ko séx ak doom adamay fokk mo am ñu nangu am ñu bañ way ci kaw lolu ñeen li ñu taxajuk moy sét lan mo gëna jariñ askan wi ñu yëngu ci checkpoints liñ leen wañi liko waral moy dañ bëggoon am easy traffic flow pour baña tardel nit ñi sen time té ba tay dinañ mëna def suñ check si lolu nak liko gëna saxal moy lélé nga gis nga am checkpoints yu bari nit ñi feel ne sen time comme tardé nañ sen waxtu ñu dem ba fo xamné checkpoint neeku fa tardé waxtu biñ tardé yépp ñu bëgg ko recover daf dé waral fatal accidents overspeeding ak reckless driving so buñ gesto lolu bu baax ci lañ ñu wax option ci né nañ wañi checkpoint ci way ñuy patrol mobile comme di daw ci yoon yeek motorcycle yeek moto yi fexé ba suñ gisé any traffic abnormality ñu address lolu ci num gëna gaawé the boss said law mobile patrols yi mo gëna effective standard like traffic bo xamne dañ ko mount ci highway bi because yena say nga gis ne ñooñu suñ ko mounté ni def dara bari ca fa dañ am pour call ci kanam ne len tiyel len ñu ki waye buñ amé mobile patrols yoyu ku def naka sudut nonu mun nañ la topa ba jot la
that's fine lolu rafet na comme lii nag da xam dafa nekk dara lu nga xam ne public bi ñeneen ñi wane IGP lu mu def ni anga or the order from the IGP whether it is actually but lii people currently nit ñi dañ ragal lot of crimes in the country so and traffic bi tamit ñu mel ni so if this order supposed to come and you just need checkpoints yi ñu wàññi leen it simply means that like traffic bi the situation of it will just go worst so basically but let me come to the director and I will come back to you Mr. Director, come the good ASP for Nyameng, and then one of the demands also as a ministry fanang wala nyunti ko the Senegambia bridge come here for Nyameng. That is the root cause. That's where everything started. And then we even heard that come like some drivers were arrested there. a driver will arrest jail for them, and then at some point, driver for them motor park, these are informations that we are not confirmed, but, just to actually carve around a question so that that is, where the core issue, where the problem came from. And driver coming complain, the fee there should be reduced. Are you the people regulating that wala Gambia Ports Lem? And who actually, because even in the previous demands of the drivers, Abidjelo come like, okay, that Senegambia, the crushing fee, the toll fee should be reduced, but it was not reduced, and we have seen it again resurface again. And in fact, this time around, that serves as the place where the that serves as the main cause of the conflict.
Okay, thank you very much. But before I come to Senegambia Bridge, I just want to add on to the issue of the checkpoint.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, people are just taking this as something new. To me, it's nothing new, because this was part of the demand, the 6 points, demands in 2021. And during the negotiations, the issue came up, and immediately, after the agreement, was signed, the union was working, closely, with the police. The police even went to an extent of, providing them with the official, checkpoints, across the country, so that for them they know, these are the official checkpoints, in the country. So for the police, to come again, to emphasize it, it's not like, they are changing, anything. For them, for the police, they are committed, to, maintaining the official checkpoints, because for them, they have, a lot of, issues that they bring about. We have to balance, things, because in transport, you have, different, objectives. For example, you have safety, and then you have efficiency, how people can move, faster, to their destination, whilst, in the process, not to compromise, safety. But another dimension also is the security. So all these objectives, have to be clearly looked at, so that, there can be a compromise. So for me, the issue that people are trying to bring in, the issue we are trying to compromise, national security, but they are coming up, with countermeasures. So I don't think, it's something that, people should be, bothered about, that much. And then that also kind of, vindicate, the police in a sense. There were negotiations already between the police and then the union. So for the union to come again and then make issue out of that, that's what I cannot, understand. Just like, the issue of the fare increment, we were negotiating with them. But if you look at, their demand is about the pump, price, reduction. So you can see the shift, in the, demand. So that's why for me, I said, the main factor that trigger, the protest was about the Senegambia Bridge. But again, we have to look at the issue, critically, because if you look at the traffic at the Senegambia Bridge, you can see 80% of the traffic are non-Gambian, vehicles. So why are the transport union, spearheading the process to reduce, the tariff? And then it's not something, that have been, increased. For us, we maintain the rate, that have been used by the ferry, before. But for them, the argument, they are making, the operating cost of, ferry is higher than that of the bridge. But that is just an assumption. They did not do any detailed analysis, to ascertain, that. So that is the basis, of their demand to, reduce that, tariff. But for us, we are committed in a sense. There will be a shift in the mode of charging at the bridge, because currently, if you look at, the issue of weighing, they will be weighing the trucks, and then based on the weight, that's when, where they will charge it. But we install a toll plaza, and that toll plaza, the objective is to facilitate, the smooth or the smooth movement of, people and goods. So having, trucks, weigh, and then from there they go to the toll facility. That will kind of, waste, some time. So for us, we are committed to shift to charging based on the volume instead of, the weight. So obviously, if there is that shift, the charges, will be different. Because instead of, weighing the truck and then you say that this one is 50 ton, because they are the tonnage, they charge, per ton, $80. So if it is 50 ton, it's 80 multiplied by 50 to give you the money that you will pay. But now, when we shift, to the volume, they will just look at the size of the truck, whether you are loaded or unloaded. You will just pay a flat rate. For us, they know that we are committed, to that, and we are pushing for that. We don't only stop there, but we even negotiate with them. For example, that volume, charging based on volume, how much should we charge per truck? And then another dimension is like they're not talking about the other categories. There is no reduction there. Even if you look at the document that have been leaked by them on the social media, there is no changes in the tariff for the various categories like private and other classes of
I crossed there in a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So that one is maintained, but the public are not making noise out of that. So, but why specifically the truckers? Why are they so interested?
Okay, Director. Now the whole strike. Now, what lesson have you learned from it? Because one, we have seen that the drivers, as you said, they came. Maybe were they working, in the background to make sure that to plan any strike, or they just came one day, they want to see the minister, and after seeing the minister, they declared the strike. And the previous times they have communicated and they have cried of their frustration. What lesson have you learned? Because I'm sure your monitoring and evaluation, or your technical or your whatsoever analysis unit supposed to analyze this thing very well. If you have a conflict analysis unit at your ministry, that's supposed to analyze this actually from 2020, 2021, and 2022. These strikes, these various strikes, what has motivated them, and what lesson can we learn from it?
What you asked, what exactly
you've learned from it?
Trigger the process. I know, the Senegambia is a major contributing factor, but when exactly they decided, to go on strike, whether after meeting the minister, I wouldn't, know. But all I know is they use it as a method, to get, what they want, from the government. So they feel that, they have some kind of, bargaining, power in a sense. For example, in terms of the passenger transport, because if you look at the percentage of the informal operators, that is these vans and then the jelly-jellies, it's almost, we can see, more than 80% of the passenger transports are done by the informal, operators. So for them, they feel whenever they threaten to go on the strike, the movement of people will be highly jeopardized. So for us, we are aware of this, and then we are also conscious of the fact that the long-term solution to the passenger transport industry in the country is to strengthen the public transport service, formal public transport service.
To strengthen the public transport service.
Yeah, so you can see that even the GTSC, with the limited, number of buses, they have, but at least, they were able to make some sort of, impact.
It was as if the Gambia police force was on. I see the police say that we have deployed this amount of buses, to go and strengthen the efforts of the Gambia transport. Anyway, ASP, we come back to you. We have seen that police, they have a lot of operations. Covering in 2022, April, they said Operation Road Safety. In July 2021, because Operation Clear the Roads. And now, Operation Zero Crime. And now, where are we? Crime rate is increasing. Accident actually increasing. And then the roads, yesterday I was going home, I was even crying. The roads are terrible. So where are these operations? Are these operations still effective? Are the operational you know carrying hands
Operation will be carrying and ñing watin kono Operation Zero Crime intensify le kabo banjul katafu adang banko dandula especially kabo bila kata so mbe mul yamar la fanang ni police visibility je dulal to taring ikana sila lafta tenkungol la na bankoto lafta kaje ñing kumanel men be ke kanyim mo falu diningol men ning jorangol be yayi lay be ñoo sola nga ko be bang because ni aje ñing farol men be kete keta dulalel to damen to police ol bu kataraje hotelol to police ol bu kataraje mulla sol kono police ol bu kataraje ndung jama nimbe ñing operation ulan ka mennu muta silo kay ni jorangol aka ke funding ke lelti mennu siyo be kabo sanji tan ni lulu kata futan saba wo kamala ngana operation o intensify le mbe funding ke yamar lay ning jorangol ka kali finti mbe mul fanan danile ikana sila ni police soldier ila tanko ni la kanto wodoron ne en tol bulindi operation on be intensify kanne andung alfongol be falingo jela te mela bake.
When your traffic the traffic is very frustrating. Traffic owning is very frustrating, and traffic owning operation has road clear the road. Then how about that?
Haniko operation clear the road fanang yalong ite mulla motol sikala ye bondi silol kang they have a right to ply the roads. So motol siatale mol siatal silol tile so police sol la do ko wonte pour kanaka motol bondi silo kang ntol si menke no wala motol men manyanka tara silo kang ngi bondi je ni akoro sinna wrong comme ni pacta wrongly e manyanka lo dame lo taje mo be yalo ne police ol kasim fadalu mentaje aning fananka make sure traffic o kana slow nying checkpoint la be sunta wolela so police ol be katol dango ke kan kaje ko silol frita barinte mon la motol fanan sikala silo kan ngi bondi je because ngo operation clear the road
but sometimes police ol operation all do start and then for shortage of resources or they give the excuses.
We don't have that much resources pour ka kube kutoke so ninga domandingo men so tomba ke ka mul fanansi barako lankan yaje ko nyantan na do ko men kelamba ke ka nga nyama nunte kolyabe kolya ku so tolaji because ning operational fanang failta abe police ol affect lal barabe citizen nkado ko ke men yabe wolel gena affect la so isi baraka lankan nga nyoma koy silol kamen manyanka pak je kana imanyanka pak dame kakali pak je imanyanka manyalu menke silol ke kakali je hani nyate polisola ifango yeke fang polisoti ke banku din kendoti mem mangyan nakela police bije police tije ikana wo bara sifal
but the issue here is that we have seen that covering a certain time operation clear the roads. We have seen that police will truck or miyan ko ni moto miyan ko wrong parking a guy lift yeke moto kono yesamba and then they charge. But saying sometimes come roja tra panin silokan and police law operation on you is not existing, or even if it is not existing, it's at a low tone. Because what troko mobuko and mobuka police just silokan thing to make sure that motor they are wrongly parked actually samba for the mobile traffic or to the appropriate place. What is up?
Hamga sometimes dama de jahle sax police lan la nit ñi bëgga wax because lélé nga dégg ñu ne police fu ñoo taxaw dafa bëri torop ci yoon bi lélé nga ne duñ gis police yi duñ gis seen moto yi man xawma sax fan lañ wara tiyé légui waye lima leer té wóor mooy lépp loo xam ne war nañu pour dox ci jël jumtuwaay yu mat sëkk pour kaaraange nit ñi seen alal ak seen bakkan ci kaw yoon yi police yaa ngi koo def.
Okay, please tell the IGP that we said we did Operation Clear the Roads in its 100% form.
The Office of the Inspector General of Police, through the Mobile Traffic Commissioner, is tirelessly ensuring safety, security, and sanity on our roads because there's so much madness on our roads.
Seriously,
Yeah.
and I'm a victim. How do you call it again? Director, our traffics are terrible, and your ministry is the one in charge of transport. And you are the director of transportation and Itland director of Maryland transportation. Ngal ne nying silo be nyamen to think mang tara moy kumpato because atodum fongo mansakunda do kulal wo wala mol fongo mi yalan ko monta mansakunda but momo kanyin silo use is very frustrating as a ministry because wala na bi mbe sularim bake a député la mi yalan ko to lebe marli monitoring evaluation la ibe mun strategy le na de kam pour mol nga atodum fongo fere soto pour ñun silo aka congest nyame because mbe diamu kam moy sometimes ko akunye ko no be wutu kam banjul mo be wutu kam farafeñe amari en sabo brikama ande mo futa brikama. So Ibajalo, sometimes it takes 2 good hours to travel from Westfield to Tabokoto. And me along approximately that can give you a destination from Brikama to Jarasoma. And as a ministry, I don't find muneke concern pour kaje kom yin traffic congestion on I tell her, I tell her drastically because it's very frustrating.
Yeah, thank you very much. Abrakabake. Wala nambe jube kan kabrebe question on impose to the PRO. Police will say for be kata it only na menkela be kata ko e ba ke kan with the limited resources other priority will settle but e ba kata kan traffic management fana be la kata ko ke kan in terms of enforcement. So we have to commend the police for that wonderful job that they are doing.
Congratulations.
So the issue is beyond only enforcement. Police will settle it, but there are a lot of issues. Many along
issues you need to clarify those ones.
Yeah, issue will be a issue konole many along inadequate road infrastructure. Because near Jube, for example, Jama from the Menokata Brekama Mavon, the vehicle selected in use. At least, ning alternative routes to that. Me along Kabus in Kona Mafa, Kata for Mandinaba. And I'm glad to say that, it's already part of our plans, Pruka was
okay, Cabo Mundo.
Sting Kona, Kata Sain because before Nkavale Sting Kona Abuko. But we are even thinking of, from Stinkona up to Mandinaba.
Seriously? So that is a breaking news?
No, it's not. It's not because it's just part of our priority project. But now Jube new call be memo from problem or the funding because I near Jube now full many along we can spend on road construction. I beg about government source like. Because name sila jamal jeno menu do kutano dono leka kododi but say ni tata banjul government never fund kan 100% ni tata hakala government never fund kan 100% ni tata sabasanjal nyol to sila fulol menu
I was there.
Government never fund kan 100% ni tata kiang west road government never fund kan 100% so and do you have other priority sectors? So what I think kudo be just lafta keke aka kolea and then say kudo phenomena lafa kan ne ajube lado be je silo la karola ye maintenance need le but ne azara kudo phenomena sort of pruka maintenance fanake o phenomena problem because say ne Gambia ne mo jama ye nyinenka mune mula problem the silo
very well
Momo ko silo. Very saying, we silo nyana maintain na nyame. We are not also thinking about that because name to la policy in Jube. The priority should be given to maintaining the existing road assets. Over the construction of the new ones because nin fendo be able ema maintain properly. Ni tata ka alafa. So it means
ebe problem
kafukan so but ne Jube Gambia say momo nyinenka rek man silo and most of those ones are new construction
but the issue is okay
so funding is a major problem but ne Jube fana the issue of the parking facilities often is a problem because for example pruka police hol makoy pruka laws or regulation regards to this parking. At least ning la soto ta me along ko parking blal be jail. For example, near the Serakunda, eko motoli alkanalo siloka, but you don't give them the alternative, puruka black create motoli na park la dame. Yala be kole yala. So we'll be able to call new konole, and then the traffic management. We need some improvements at the intersections. That can be engineering and enforcement, at the same time. And then also the local authorities, they have a big role in terms of the traffic management. So I think, from henceforth, I think, they also should be seen to be, part of the process.
How should they?
Because in country dolbeje netada, jail, silo dolbeje local authorities all. To leka marawa silo la. There should be, boss, provision of, public, buses. Most of the areas in UK, they are managed by the local councils. I mean, the central government. Although, private sector for now rules sort of jail. For it and public transport, private sector, your rules sort of jail, to partner with, government. Even this provision of parking facilities, private sector, they have. What is stopping an investor, a private investor, to acquire an area around Serakunda, purposely, for
parking?
For parking.
And any vehicle that is parked there, you pay.
You pay.
And that is a wise investment. No one is doing that.
It is.
And why not
these are some of the things, we don't have to, wait for the government, to do. But, the initiative, can come from the private, partner, and then they partner with the government to see that, it's implemented. Yep.
That is very true. We look forward to that moment that, this traffic will be decongested and we will have alternative roads. Sometimes when I'm going, even some of these, streets, Bundong and other places, I get frustrated. I keep on dancing on the tuk-tuk vehicles, But basically, that is good, and we look forward as a ministry also, and a director of transport, we always be on the throat, constantly be asking you, director, what actually are you doing? Because you are carrying a heavy load. I'm talking transportation of Bango Ganjambi, Abel Ngokang, understand? So, Mbadi Convention GB can be, Bafokali, Albentola GB can live at Fadu Network, Peace Talk, so local Kairakacha and Kamin Sodale Jang, Bola Kajagambi, and Bulbakarola. The moment Farman Sarim Balabija, Walla Ninti, Mimba Marling, Director of Transportation La, Walla Nyatonko, Mimba Marling, Tanin Na Fanala, na Ministry, Mimba Marling, Tanin Nala, and then Marakarola Jang, Mimu Atodu Fago, Police Ola Nangoti, Atilong Police Ola PROT, Natale Vijante Bimbe, Discourse, Walla Munte, challenges olon kolia kuol kamin soto na tanin na fanna anin fanang munebe kala nyarota ko ti say wala munebe kala fendi mial ko bolo jibe la at the end. So Balten Dulam Bake Alben Jibe ka nyameng, and then continue again. We come to the ASP PRO mo accident wal jele siata num bake, so police will be muneke kan say pour kaje kan accident wal tala, and then sa na silol fanang ay ket la damian ko ni mol bita kan jeti tarla ke mira, because ndaka dunna moto la always and ni accident wal jibe ila causes si ara, because number one ba fule ko lansi nin Kenya ning wala man proper, and sometimes police will come mol mutala minialon ko in this regard they should be punished, and then all of a sudden they call back to the traffic. So ibajala ni wol mutan and they keep on causing havoc, ibajala there are so many factors to the traffic. And then unless and until we will keep on having accidents on the roads, you understand? Sometimes wrong parking, sometimes over speeding, and sometimes not being, reckless driving. So what actually are the police doing to reduce accidents? It's not easy. I know you will tell me that it's not fair, but basically.
No, we can shy away from that responsibility because we have a stake in that. So police kunda be menki kang dorong wolenka ajeko kom kulurol men be laring men nyanta lala molu kang menka traffic rules so default yaje ko ay bambang kendeke because ikaje nin kuluro nyimang bambang akakole yale pour moli fonyo ko sifal bari hani wontol fanana kuluro kang dandulale bentolla ninga mo muta traffic offense la ngi charge ngi fine yajo sembu tentol la pour ke muta fon sibula say ni mol naate je silo kan aka ke wole kamma bari nga simfa dalu menta wolen ka stringent measures naati pour testing la karola aning be license issue la mendula kaje ko motol fana men be silo kan they are road worthy wala kende yatale pour ka tara silolu kan kaje ko molla speed limit sol ye respect silol kan aning fana mennu kama fengolu ma ka bori silol kan no kol be nga akodang ha be wokelo kono le kende ke pour kaje ko nga simfa dalu tamen yalon ko wolle lod labe gena bambanna nga mennu soto saying.
That's wonderful. I only hope that police will actually work on that, because at some point from a model for the police blame me na wala nyintiko drive walk obstruction of traffic killer, and then in police only they will just see you at the corner and then give you something, they will bring you back to the traffic, and this actually continuously make the drivers not to care, because the notion they come in sort of wala nyintiko okay ninga nyinga rek nyim police car mbejin dilala rek, and then I come back to the traffic again.
Ha yalong ninko corruption two ways lem ite men ka bribe di ani men ka receive albe mu luwati nya la lelti nka men fo mole wolem ni luwati nya asikenya onya luwa e men fo woke hanatara police ole ko nyin nangam din na ngebula afay luwa e men fo mbatu nga woke bar say ni te ya diala ate fana yata albe felale luwati nya ndun ni nyin ko ka ke molel nyaala banku dingol lel nyaala banku din kende wo banku din kende ma fan son police olti ni wotili mbal ya sifalje silo kan fo police ola ke fo modo la ke kata police o kan ye responsibility soto le pour ka je ko woko nyin akana ta nyato akana ke nyato ta koti. We have our professional standard unit at the police headquarters, human rights and professional standard unit. Police the Gambia police force me alonko abeluwa e santole. If anything, we know better because we are law enforcers. Ninga luwati nyadu labi jelen si sambano dameng. So I see no reason membati na musa foko ninga luwati nyambe kodo di la police wala doronga ita. Ite menka dial nata police yati bulai luwati nyameng. Ifana yati nyawul nyama. So we both have responsibilities to play. Ite civilian olembang, ite police olembang. We should all try to be law abiding. Kaji ko luwa man sommen na nkanake.
That is wonderful. Come nyamu kule mi alanko is very clear. PR la fojang be andong kule mi alanko mo be nyanta mo la. Ye offense ke on the traffic. Some ye offense like and the police are not enemies. They are friends. They are here for us. Understand? Let's go to the right authorities. Wala, let's go to the right place, and then let them remind you. It's not a matter of punishing. It's a matter of reminding you of what you have done, to be in consistency with the law. And then once that happens, the police are not enemies, but they are friends. Because let's imagine in a situation where there is no police on the traffic.
I can assure you, we have a lot of backlash from people on our roads. But we face a lot of challenges. We do face a lot of challenges. You can bear me witness that it's not easy to stand on the roads. Whether it's rainy season or dry season, the police officers are on the road. Their safety, their lives are at risk. And all of this is as a result of trying to protect the lives and properties of the citizens. So it is also the responsibility of every good citizen to ensure that the law enforcement agents we cooperate with them and we make the job easy for them, because the police is here for all of us, like you said.
The police is here for all of us. Are you here for me?
I am here for you. That's why when you go to sleep, I am awake on the streets to ensure you are safe in your house.
Director, then we are safe, right? And everybody on this floor building here is safe today because we have the PRO of the Gambia Police Force here. But it's very interesting, and we actually are commending you for actually following the program. This program, inshallah, will be coming every Friday to discuss on issues surrounding our national peace and security. These are some of the ways that we can bring end to our issues that are affected. People are saying the police are corrupt, but civilizedly, officially, and I've asked her, and then she has clarified. And in fact, this clarification, it now went in two aspects, because me giving, I am corrupt if I am actually bribing the police. And the police also taking is also corrupt. So let's consider it. Let's not say the police. And you, in fact, you who is also seeing, but not also reporting, are you not corrupt?
You are. You are.
Director, so actually, the national transport policy, what policy? Because is very interesting, and I connect the dots. The drivers drivers union is a pressure group. Nim Moya understand what is the main reason for a pressure group. One can also say they are interest group. And sometimes they can look at your weakness, that is the public, and exert a force on you, and then you have no option but to subdue. And then when you keep on subduing, strategically or structurally, this can affect the development of the country. Are you people having any strategic plan or national, strategic plan, to make sure that, even in the future, when such kind of, strikes or demonstrations are going to happen, the cost of it or the burden of it will be minimal. Not only now, in the terms of reinforcing the national transport, public transport sector also, but do you also have other mechanisms and, plans in place?
Yeah, for us, we have we updated the national transport policy in 2018, and it was approved, by the cabinet the same year. And then we have, a lot of policy initiatives that are geared towards, improving the whole transport sector in the Gambia. Yeah, so if you look at the passenger, for us, our policy direction is geared towards the improvement of the formal public transport service, provision in the country. And then if you look at the current happenings, we are coming up with initiatives geared towards implementing that policy direction. For example, we launched this urban public transport initiative that was launched not long ago when
yes, okay.
GTSC was. So you can imagine this past strike without those GTSC buses, how things.
And I remember struggling for the backup vehicles.
Yeah. So and then also you can imagine if we have like hundreds of those GTSC buses, the difference that it will make in our road transport industry. So for us, we are trying to support strengthening the public formal public transport service provision, because like I always said, the transport industry is self regulatory. At some point, currently the bargaining power they have, for example, in terms of the passenger transport, where their market share is almost 80%. But if we increase the share of the formal public transport service provision, you will see that there will be competition. And when there is a competition, there will be no cost for us to even set a tariff whatsoever, because as a result of the competition, they will be forced and even to reduce the tariff. So for us, we're not praying to be negotiating with the unions in terms of fare or whatsoever in the near future. We will come up with policy initiatives whereby our formal public transport provision in the country will be strengthened.
But the formal public transport, before, what we used to see was that, public transport sector, their fare, their transport fee is usually lower than that of, the normal customer transport. But now what we have seen is that, in fact, public transport is the same or even sometimes more than the commercial, the other sector. Do you people make any consideration on that also to make sure that, you are here for the public and also to make sure that to minimize your profits?
No, actually it was the other way around. Because if you look at the time of the GPTC, I can tell you, Soma, going there, the GPTC, they will charge, $30. But the vans, they will be charging like 20, 25. Because before, people have that perception that the vans are not even safe, to transport. as a result of the competition, sometimes, you know, they will be forced to. But like you said, that's something that is not, you know, brought to our attention, that, you know, the tariff for GTSC is beyond the tariffs, you know, set by the government. Because, you know, normally they should be within. They can come down of the formal tariff, but not, you know, above the formal tariff that has been set by.
What I also actually want to mean here is that, okay, like, you know, GPTSC, we mean that is actually basically maybe not fully owned by the government, but partially. You understand? I think, you know, GPS, Gambia Transport Service company actually is social security. So basically, one can say social security is also something that, you know, government of the Gambia owns in some aspect, if I'm right? So basically, you see to it that now we actually are thinking that at least, you know, the tariffs there should be like, even if Brikama to Banjul is $25 and the government said, okay, you know, Brikama to Banjul should not be more than $25 or should be $25. At least we expect, you know, the public transport actually to make it like, let's say, $23 or $22. What, you know, we have seen that, if other buses are going $25 from Brikama to Banjul, and then the public transport also is $25.
No, for me, what I'm trying to explain to you, the GTSC, they will be within or below, they should be within or below the tariff set by the government, but they should not go.
No, I don't mean
they should not go, you know.
I don't mean to go up. What I mean here is that, like, you know, let's say GTSC actually,
for them to, you know, lower
at least some little bit below the government, the normal customer or transport, you know, commercial transports, you know.
But that will depend on their mode of, you know, operation, because, you know, the way the formal transport, you know, service, you know, operate, and then the informal operators, you know, it's different. For example, they work on schedule, you know, they have this ticketing system and things like that. So if you are working on schedule, there is a likelihood that, you know, sometimes, you know, you will be running at a loss. So how would they make up, you know, that losses? So if they want to go, you know, below, I'm not saying, you know, that they cannot. There is a possibility, but at some point, if you are running at a loss, you know, at least, you know, you have to find, you know, ways and mechanism to, you know, recoup whatever, you know, you lost. Because, yeah, like I said, you know, for them, they should be, you know, formalize their operation, and sometimes, you know, they are bound to run at a loss. Because whether the operation during the peak period and off-peak, you know, is completely, you know, different.
Okay, thank you, Director. I think that's clear. That was just a probing question, actually. I was trying to press, you know, as you know, because your directorate is just newly formed, not so. Director of Transport, not so. Is it newly? I think it's newly formed. So, and you are the first Director of Transport. And then we hope that, you know, you will leave legacy there. And Director, you have a big problem.
No, inshallah, we will working with the stakeholders, you know, at least, you know, we'll be able to make, you know, a difference.
Definitely, I have no doubt. Director, a public concern, and even though, you know, we say transport sector and the way forward, we have seen that recently there has been a lot of killings and murders in the country, you know, and, you know, I think it's necessary, you know, even though the public, the relations officer of the Gambia Police has been going around, you know, to be giving updates, you know, whatsoever, to actually also use this platform also to adequately inform, you know, the public, you know, on these rising murders, and also to allay the fear of the public that, you know, the police are aware of this and they are working diligently to make sure that, you know, the crime rate is reduced, and all those who actually are perpetrating these crimes are actually, you know, dealt in accordance to the stipulated laws. Mother Piero, the public is actually watching. In fact, when I shared a flyer, when they saw your picture, that's why when you told me you are not coming, I told them, I said, wow, you said you are not coming, because people are telling me that, please, we need the police PRO to tell us, you know, what the police are doing to make sure that all these murders are, you know, minimized, you know, and we are not safe. People are saying they are not safe, you know. So actually, you know, what efforts are you doing, you know, since, you know, we have seen that, like, in a week, you know, almost more than 7, you know, murders, you know, in a small country where, you know, that, you know, even if someone said war here, and then you can hear it in the other place. What are you doing as a police to make sure that these things are handled?
I think one of the reasons why people are even aware is because of the transparency in the Gambia Police Force. We come out, we inform the public, we keep them updated. Also, if you realize all these killings, all these suspected murder cases happened they are domestic. They don't happen outside where you will say, oh, the police are not doing their jobs. But we will not shy away from the responsibility of ensuring the safety and security of every citizen and resident of the Gambia. As a result, we have intensified our strategies. We have adequately taken measures to ensure that this becomes a thing of the past. And most of the causes of this is being armed in public. That we are not going to take lightly. We would advise the general public to stay away from being armed in public or going to crime scenes and contaminating those crime scenes, because sometimes when we investigate crimes, people will say, you don't come out early with investigation. With the minimal resources we have, we are so swift to arrest suspects when cases are reported. But sometimes we get issues in gathering evidence because of the scenes being contaminated. And it's unfortunate if to say we have certain sophisticated investigation equipment, a lot of innocent people would have been implicated, because when crimes occur, people just rush there, take photos, and start informing the wrong people. The first point of contact when something is suspected or detected is the police, or should be the police. So we are not going to relent. We will be on the streets across the length and breadth of the country, and we would urge people to remain calm, not panic. We just want that police visibility and proactiveness to ensure that all of these suspected murders become a thing of the past. But they are domestic. I will emphasize that all of these suspected murder cases we've registered are domestic. The thing we could do at those points was to ensure that the perpetrators or the suspects were arrested, prosecuted, and dealt with according to law, and that we did.
So basically, I think that's clear, because here, I've seen that people are saying that, okay, what the police are doing, I'm not secure in my own country. So what I can also do is that to go out with weapons, so that in case if I'm attacked, I can defend myself.
Waaw boo bëggee aar sa boppa di génn ak ngànnaay ne réew mi óorut bu yàggee di nga bokk ci ñi nga xam ne dinañ leen compter si ñu rey nit parce que dafa am ci dundi doomu aadama yenn saa ngeen féewaloo kàddu wala sax du ngeen juboo si dara ba tax na bu fekkee yor nga ngànnaay li njëkk a ñëw sa xel mooy jëfandikoo ko te loolu moo dee waral lii yëpp ñun nag duñ toog duñ tàyyi ñu ngi ci kawam te dinañ gën a yokka dinañ gën a fës ci yoon yi fexe ba képp koo xam ne gis nañ la ak ngànnaay ngay dox ci yoon lu waa teg la loxo.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good update from the spokesperson of the Gambia Police Force. That is ASP Bintanjai.
Cadet ASP, you're always promoting me.
Oh God, I saw ASP at some point, Cadet ASP. I think that's fine, But I hope that you become ASP, because the people that I was contacted or invited, ASP, Lamit Jai, and then he became, superintendent, and then, Conta, and then others, So I look forward to see you as, a full ASP,
Thank you.
Director, now we actually are coming to the conclusion. And as we come to the conclusion, I hope that now the drivers and you people made agreement, and in order not to go back to where we came from, the agreements to be honored, and also there had to be effective communication between you and the drivers' leadership, and not to also take things, come a cool town in Gisola, but to always, listen to them, or they listen to you, and you see how best you open that windows and doors of communication and opportunities for there to be dialogue and communication, so that such kind of strikes can be averted. Because when there is strike, always it all can mean ministry, they may not be affected directly, but indirectly the public will suffer, and when the public suffer, the ministry becomes affected directly. So I hope that the agreements, you are working with them with the appropriate stakeholders to see how best, you diligently work towards them?
For us, for us, we are fully committed, to anything that is in the interest of, the general public. Because, people have had, a lot of people saying, the ministry, should engage, but, I get confused at some point because this is not something, I can say it's something that just, came up, abruptly. And then if you look at the dynamic of the whole thing, for me, I would say it's something that is not even, necessary. Because imagine you are negotiating with someone on issues. Even before the conclusion, you just take a decision on your own. So for us, we were just observing the situation. Because, for example, this issue of, the pump price, reduction is completely out of our hand. And it's something that we don't think, is even, attainable at this current point in time. For us, the things that we thought, we could do something about it, that is the fair increment. And we almost, we negotiated with them and then we agree on the percentages, that we will increase, various fares, across the country. So that is a non-issue. What was left is just to agree on the implementation date, and then that is it. And then the Senegambia bridge also, we were working with the main stakeholder, which is the Ministry of Finance, to finalize the tariff. So this whole thing could have been averted. And then for us, we are willing to dialogue with the transporters. We see ourselves as their parent ministry, though they fall under the Ministry of Trade as a union, but most of their issues fall under our ministry. So whatever is brought to us as a ministry, if we see, we will balance with the public interest, because sometimes they will look at their interest. We have to strike a balance. For example, the increment of the fares have to commensurate with this route licensing scheme that we are also trying to introduce. And I can tell you that we have series of successful meetings since that community was signed, and hopefully we'll come up with something that will be the win-win situation for both them and the general public.
And then we come to ASP as we are about to wrap up. I hope you are also stakeholders in the transport sector. I hope you are also communicating with the drivers to make sure that these are kind of similar situations are averted, and then our streets are always available and the drivers are seen as partners.
Yeah, we are adequately doing that. Even at the toll, we, the Office of the Inspector General of Police, through the DIG and the Deputy Commissioner Operations, engage them in Farafenye. So that's beside the point. I also want people to understand, because these crimes are reported does not mean there's an increase in crime. Those are assumptions. They are not statistically proven. So these crimes that happened recently occurred in a very short space. Maybe that's the reason why people think there's a rise in the rate of crime. However, we will ensure we do whatever we can within our mandate to see that the lives and properties of every Gambian and residents of the Gambia is protected.
It's protected. That is very clear. Cadet ASP, Binta Njai. Binta? Binta Njai Jata. Thank you very much. We heard that from the Public Relations Officer Gambia Police Force, and the crimes that we are hearing, what she means that, and as a researcher, this actually are not data backed. So when we talk about data, we need to make research and to be informed by empirical data. Okay, rate of crime is increasing, and then this actually is my source, and I have picked it from this particular area. And then, from 1990 to so, we have seen this level of crime in the Gambia, but we have seen that from 2021 to 2022, we have seen this number of crime. In fact, what we can see is that from 2021 to like today, where we are in September 2022, the number of crimes recorded is even more than the crimes recorded from December 2020 to, let's say, January 2019. So basically, we can try to say, okay, we have data from a particular place, but we cannot just sit down and say, okay, crime is increasing in the country because we have seen perhaps, some conflicts, coming from other areas. But basically, Director, any concluding remark?
Yeah, for us, what I would want to also the general public is also for us at the level of the ministry, our main function is to provide the policy oversight, that conducive, environment for the transport, sector to thrive, and then we will make, all the necessary things to ensure that, we are not found wanting in what we are supposed to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And Piero?
Yeah, I would just encourage all of us to be law-abiding, preach peace, and continue with the peaceful nature of what we are known for, the smiling coast of Africa. Ñu dalal jàmm, saxal jàmm, dunda ko ba ñepp li ñu xamé mu continuer.
Thank you very much. Belo mo badi ngolo mo be tentulam bal jaila kamol jibe, and then minyalam keben jibe kan dawada Africa, Europe and Asia. This is Fadu Network, the Peace Talk Show live every Friday in kanyin adnale jang kakachale kula miyalan ko ben na bankola Cairo nin tanko aba jiki jaka kang and bajala nyamen na bankola Cairo fanang baba mandela nyamen wala adna being a director so tan jang pur kana kacha and nga police fana nengo soto pur kana ka kacha kuma basoto so balten dulam bal jaila, and then the technician o modu aning sanusi our cameraman ba fola mo be ala barakapake. See you next week where we discuss on something also very interesting, and we hope to have the police PRO. Remember, this is your platform because we have a written agreement with the IGP that the PRO, this is going to be your place because you are a permanent guest. So make sure you take your permanent seat, Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Inform you on peace, security, and dangers related to violence. Every week, we have interesting topics to discuss. Our guests are highly informed. Gambia is the homeland of peace. Let's teach the world peace. Follow Alasana Justice Diallo every other Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. For sponsors and partners, contact 369-0164 or 272-3819. Hello, the Peace Talk Show is back on the bench.